Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going deep into the book of Genesis.
Okay.
Specifically, chapter 19.
Right.
The story of Lot and his escape from the destruction of Sodom.
Right.
Now, you might think this is just another, biblical tale.
Yeah.
But trust me,
Right.
it's packed with twists and turns.
It is.
That'll make you rethink everything you thought you knew about it.
It's a story that has captivated and challenged readers for centuries.
Exactly.
Really has.
So to set the scene,
Okay.
picture Sodom.
Some.
A city drowning in wickedness.
Yeah.
And we're not talking like minor misdemeanors here.
Right.
Genesis portrays Sodom as like a complete disregard for anything resembling morality.
Yeah.
This city is on a collision course with divine judgment.
Yeah.
And the tension builds from the very first verse.
It's almost like a pressure cooker, when you say.
Oh, yeah.
The text establishes this palpable atmosphere of impending doom,
Yeah.
setting the stage for dramatic intervention.
Right. And that intervention
Yeah.
comes in the form of two angels sent to Sodom. Now, guess where they seek refuge?
Where's that?
Lot's doorstep.
Oh, wow.
Of all places.
Of all places, right.
It's a stark contrast, isn't it?
It is.
Lot's hospitality in the face of such widespread depravity
Yeah.
is almost jarring.
And it's a detail that shouldn't be overlooked.
Oh.
In a world seemingly gone mad,
Yeah.
Lot's actions are a beacon of something different,
Yeah.
a glimmer of humanity in a city consumed by darkness.
It makes you wonder what was going through Lot's mind when he opened his doors to these strangers, knowing the kind of place Sodom was.
No, right. Knowing everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a question worth pondering.
It is?
His hospitality, however, quickly collides with the horrifying reality of Sodom.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not just a few bad apples here.
Yeah.
The text says everyone from the youngest to the oldest surrounded Lot's house, demanding he hand over his guests for, well, let's just say their intentions were far from hospitable.
It's bone-chilling to think about, honestly.
Yeah.
The sheer aggression, the mob mentality.
It's intense.
And this is where the story takes a truly unsettling turn.
Okay.
Lot, desperate to protect his guests,
Yeah.
offers his virgin daughters to the mob instead.
Oh.
I mean,
Wow.
talk about a moral quandary.
Yeah.
Where do you even begin to unpack that?
It's a gut-wrenching moment in the text,
It is.
and one that continues to spark debate even today.
I bet.
To understand Lot's actions, we have to try and step into his shoes, however uncomfortable that might be.
Yeah.
Some scholars suggest it was an act of desperation,
Right.
reflecting a time when a woman's position was tragically vulnerable,
Right.
especially in the face of mob violence.
Yeah.
Others interpret it as a condemnation of Lot's flawed judgment,
Okay.
revealing that even those with good intentions can make horrific choices in the throes of crisis.
It's a stark reminder that good and evil aren't always clear-cut.
That's right.
And even those trying to do the right thing can falter.
Indeed. The story doesn't let us off easy with simple answers.
No, it doesn't.
It forces us to confront the complexities of human behavior and the impossible choices presented in moments of extreme duress. But one thing is certain, the consequences were real and far-reaching, as you'll soon see. It's true, it doesn't shy away from difficult topics.
No, it doesn't.
And just when you think things can't get any more intense,
Right.
Lot and his family find themselves fleeing a city,
Yeah.
literally being consumed by fire and brimstone.
It's like something out of a movie.
Talk about an escape.
All right.
But even as they're spared from the destruction,
Yeah.
there's this lingering sense that their troubles are far from over.
You're right. It's like they've escaped one inferno only to find themselves headed into another one.
Right.
This time like a deeply personal one.
Exactly.
What do you make of Lot's wife looking back? As they fled, even after being specifically warned not to, it's such a small act with colossal consequences, turning her into a pillar of salt.
It's one of those things, it's a haunting image, isn't it?
It is.
One that has been interpreted in numerous ways throughout history.
Right.
Some see it as a straightforward cautionary tale about the importance of obedience,
Right.
highlighting the dangers of second-guessing divine instructions. Others view it as a representation of longing for the past,
Okay.
even a past as corrupt as Sodom,
Interesting.
suggesting a reluctance to fully let go.
It makes you wonder what could have been so compelling
I know, right?
to make her risk everything for one last glance back.
Yeah,
Regardless, it's a stark reminder that choices have consequences, even in the midst of chaos and escape.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And as we follow Lot and his daughters further into this narrative,
Yeah.
the consequences of choices take center stage once again.
Okay.
They seek refuge in a cave, believing themselves to be perhaps the only survivors of this cataclysmic event.
Right.
And that's where the story takes another unexpected and some might say
Yeah.
deeply disturbing turn.
It's a part of the story that's often whispered about, right?
It is. It's one of those
Yeah.
taboo subjects.
Yeah.
The daughters, fearing for their future and believing that they're the last remnants of humanity,
Right.
decide to take drastic measures to preserve their lineage.
Well, let's just say they make a choice that pushes the boundaries of what's considered acceptable even in their time.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to grapple with.
It is.
But it's important to remember the historical and cultural context here.
Right.
They're living in a world where lineage and family lines are everything.
Everything.
In their minds, they're facing the potential end of their entire family line, their entire world.
Right.
And so they hatch this plan to have children by their father.
Wow.
A decision that results in the birth of two sons,
Yeah.
Moab and Ammon.
It's hard not to feel a mix of emotions hearing that.
I know, right?
Sadness for their desperation and shock at their choice.
Sure.
And from these sons, we see the genealogy of two nations emerge, the Moabites and the Ammonites.
That's right. Two whole nations.
To think that from this one family's deeply flawed choices, entire nations would rise, it really speaks to the ripple effect of decisions, doesn't it?
It's a powerful illustration of unintended consequences.
Yeah.
And as we move deeper into the Old Testament,
Right.
we see how the legacy of these actions continues to play out, shaping the relationships and conflicts between these nations and the Israelites.
Wow.
It's a reminder that history is rarely neat and tidy.
It's not.
It's messy, full of difficult choices and far-reaching implications that we might not always anticipate.
So we've gone from a city steeped in wickedness
Right.
to angelic encounters, a fiery judgment, and now this family drama that's hard to even wrap our heads around.
I know. That's a lot.
Where do we even go from here? What are we supposed to take away from this story, this deep dive into the heart of Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah.
It feels like we've been through like a whirlwind
It has been.
of morality, judgment, and these messy human choices that make you question everything.
Absolutely.
What are we even supposed to take away from this deep dive into Sodom and Gomorrah?
You know, that's what makes the story so endlessly fascinating.
Right.
It's not a neat little parable
Right.
with a clear-cut lesson.
No.
It's a raw, unflinching look at the human condition.
Yeah.
There's the obvious warning against unchecked wickedness.
Right.
The stark consequences of a society that has completely abandoned any sense of morality.
Yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah serve as a powerful reminder that our actions have consequences,
Right.
both individually and collectively.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely hard to miss.
Right.
But it's not just about fire and brimstone, is it?
No.
There's this undercurrent of mercy,
Yeah.
even in the midst of judgment.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Even as Sodom burns, Lot and his family are offered a chance to escape.
Right.
They're given a way out,
Yeah.
a chance to start again,
Yeah.
even after their failings.
Right.
It reminds me of those moments.
Yeah.
When you make a colossal mistake and you're left wondering if there's any coming back from it.
Totally.
This story, in a way, whispers, yes, maybe there's still hope, even when things seem irreparably broken.
It makes you think about second chances,
It does.
but the possibility of redemption,
Yeah.
even when we stumble.
Yeah.
And it makes you appreciate the courage it takes to actually start over,
Yeah.
to build something new from the ashes of what's been lost.
Right.
Because let's face it, even though they were saved,
Yeah.
Lot and his family lost everything.
They lost everything. They lost their home, their community, their sense of normalcy.
Right.
They had to grapple with the weight of their choices and the trauma of their experience.
Yeah.
It's a stark reminder that even when we're offered a second chance, the journey forward isn't easy.
No,
There's healing, rebuilding, and reconciling to be done.
for sure.
And those scars, well, sometimes they have a way of staying with us.
This whole story is like a tapestry woven from threads of hospitality and depravity, judgment and mercy, despair, and the flicker of hope.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
It's overwhelming.
It is a lot.
Is there any one thought,
Yeah.
one question you hope our listener will carry with them as they reflect on this story?
We've touched on the historical and societal contexts,
Right.
the moral dilemmas,
Right.
the ripple effects of choices.
Right.
But ultimately, I think this story, like all great stories, is a mirror.
Okay.
It asks us to look inward and confront our own complexities.
Yeah.
How would we navigate such impossible situations?
Wow.
What choices would we make, and what kind of legacy would we leave behind?
Yeah.
As you move forward, I encourage you to reflect on those questions, to sit with the discomfort, and see what truths emerge.
That's a really powerful note to end on.
Thank you.
It's not just about dissecting an ancient story.
Right.
It's about letting it spark something within us, something that resonates long after this episode ends.
I like that.
Thanks for joining me on this journey. It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep asking those tough questions and diving deep into the narratives that shape our world.